We're continuing to talk about research, and probably what comes out of the Potato Expo that is more valuable to these farmers, to these producers than anything else are what folks like this do day in and day out. So we've got Craig Yencho and David Douches. Did I do that right? Douches, sorry. Both PhDs, North Carolina State University, Michigan State University. So talk to us about what the research is that you're doing, what's the project, and hopefully what the outcome is. David, why don't you get us started?
Okay, so both Craig and I are potato breeders.
I see it. Yeah. Potato breeding and genetics. How come you don't have a cool shirt like that?
Just kind of came a little bit more relaxed today.
Okay.
And so, and we're at the land-grant universities, and potato breeding is very publicly driven in the U.S.
True.
And so the potato industry really counts on our universities to develop varieties. And so what we did a number of years ago was work with Potatoes USA to develop a national cooperative breeding effort for potato chip varieties, which involves all the land-grant universities and USDA breeders. And that program's been quite successful. We just came from a meeting, and now there's been 4 or 5 varieties that have come out of that program that are now being used by the chip industry.
And I want to talk a bit about breeding. We're not talking about GMOs. Describe to us about what breeding actually takes place, what your work is all about, and how it happens.
So do you want Craig to start on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, what we're practicing mostly is what we'd call conventional breeding. Some of us do some GMO work, and that may come in the future, but many of us are
But currently there are no GMO potatoes on the market.
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
Currently, we're using what was called genomic-assisted breeding too, where we're using DNA markers to help us screen. And what this Potatoes USA project is all about is really bringing all of the public breeding programs together. We're collaborating, we're cooperating, and breeding for pretty much any crop, but especially for potatoes, is a very long-term endeavor. The average time to release a new variety is usually plus 10 years, 10 to 15 years. And it takes many cycles of selection and evaluation in many different environments. So if you're a breeding program and you're working just by yourself, you can only get a few environments in 1 year.
Right.
But if you bring 10 different breeding programs together to work collaboratively, suddenly you can get 10 or 20 different sites in a given year. And you can really understand what a potential variety looks like and what the potential of early generation lines are, and that helps you make selections, advance quicker, and collaborate with the industry a little bit more effectively, and get new varieties, like Dave mentioned, into the pipeline a lot quicker. And that's what the NCPT and our early generation selection studies are enabling us to do, is collaborate more effectively, advance materials quicker, and get them into advanced trials and pre-trials for commercial success on a quicker time frame.
So is CRISPR technology at all relevant for potatoes, and can that reduce, the 7 to 10 year cycle?
I'll tell you what I'd prefer to do is I'm going to let Dave take that question, because he has much more expertise in that realm than I do. But the short answer is yes, there's great opportunity there. But Dave, you might have some more thoughts on it.
So CRISPR technology has potential, and we're actually using some of that at Michigan State. But we're looking at that more with our reinvention of potato breeding at the diploid level, where we can more analytically advance potato breeding through a hybrid system rather than through our kind of F1 selection system. We have actually trying to develop F1 varieties by developing inbreds, and so a CRISPR system will work better there. And so that's where our vision is. We're using that technology towards the diploid potatoes.
So, and I'm not sure who the right person is to answer this, but when we look at the traits, whether it's through CRISPR, perhaps GMO, just conventional breeding, what are the traits that are most important that we're looking at? Is it taste? Is it yield? Excuse me. Is it browning? What are the traits that are the most important to your project?
I think we can tag team this. The first thing I would say would be it depends on your market. But generally, most growers that I work with, yield is always a really key trait. So if you're looking for a chipping market, high specific gravity, good chip quality, good color, low reducing sugars are really important. Dave, you got some other thoughts on that one?
Well, so Craig's in the south and I'm in the north, and so what our growers and processors are looking for are potatoes that will store all the way till June, so that they have a reliable source of potatoes before those southern potatoes come on the market.
Yeah, and our growers want potatoes that can be harvested green out of the field, and they'll to produce high quality chips straight from the field within probably 24 to 72 hours of harvest. So our needs in the south are considerably different than those of the growers in the north. But the thing that we actually share together is our seed growers are mostly located in the north, where they can grow higher quality seed.
Sure.
So southern growers need to be connected to the northern programs also, so that you have that connectivity.
So what I'm hearing from both of you in different ways is really about yield and production.
Well, yeah, and what actually behind all that, though, is having some disease resistance.
Right.
Farmers need the disease resistance, so that allows them to get a quality product to the processors.
There's a size profile that you need. You can't have large potatoes. You want to have just the right size of potatoes so they fit well in a chipping bag. And
look into your crystal balls, and I know that this isn't something that you might be working on right now, but where does flavor and taste fall in this? Is there work being done about making a potato taste like something else?
I think flavor and taste are huge, and we're being contacted all the time for new table stock varieties with unique flavors, unique colors, be it whether they're red or purple, shapes, sizes. It's a huge market, and there's great opportunity there, particularly with texture. And I think that I don't want to change a potato from a potato, but I do want to make a potato taste better, have a nice texture, waxy texture, great different colors, unique nutritional properties. Dave, you've got some thoughts, I'm sure, too.
Yeah, so taste is important, but texture is part of that taste.
Yeah.
And we've been focusing on some of the colors. So we have some red and purple potatoes that have some really rich colors in the flesh, and I think that adds to the consumer experience. When they're having a dinner and you have some nice colored flesh potatoes on the market, on your plate, it really presents a nice dinner to the...
Well, thank you both very much for joining us and the work that you're doing. Appreciate that. And we're going to take a break. Again, a reminder, 5 o'clock, and I'm going to remind you guys too, the Spud Nation Throwdown happens right on the stage, so be sure to join us for some fabulous recipes. And then I'm going to actually turn it over to Simon Moldar from the Food Network, who's going to be hosting this year, the Spud Nation Throwdown, and he's going to also be peppering it with all things potato. He just did a podcast about fish and chips and uncovered facts that you wouldn't believe about potatoes. So make sure, if you're here in Austin at the Convention Center, 5 o'clock behind me at the Innovation Center stage, or if you're at home or if you're in your office, please don't forget to tune in. We'll be right back.
See you in Austin.
Thank you.